Good morning, guys. I hope we're all sparkly. It's my admin day, but I thought I'd pop out and do a quick video. What are we going to talk about today? So obviously, testosterone should be considered a lifelong therapy. You should do everything in your power to not need testosterone, but if you do need it, it can be transformatory to attain and maintain healthy, normal male androgen levels for long-term physical and psychological well-being. To allow you to do what? Yeah, go earn your reward. But as humans, we're idiots. Safe to say, we're all idiots. We know what we should do after a period of doing what we shouldn't do, but sometimes the mistakes that we've made have led to this situation of testosterone deficiency, and you think, jump on testosterone replacement therapy, and hey presto, everything is peachy again. Now, adversity. We need hardship and to face adversity. Why? Because we have an innate survival mechanism and we need to survive in this world that is incredibly safe. So we expose ourselves to unnecessary risks and we land ourselves in trouble because we're idiots. And it might just be eating sugar. Now, you know sugar's not good for you, but you do it because it's nice. But you shouldn't do it. So we should always be looking to improve. And I'm fascinated by this concept of how good could you be? And isn't that quite scary? How could you be if you did all the right things? But we don't do all the right things. We don't always get good sleep. We don't always look to reduce stress. We don't always eat properly, and we don't always engage in physical exercise. And what are we at our core? Yeah, we're physical beings in a world of psychological stress. We need to be more physical. We are hunters. Wake up, hunt, get food, take it back to the tribe, sleep, repeat. Predominantly in a sympathetic catabolic state in the first part of the day when you're hunting, to then transition into more of a restful, calm state after you've got your food. And what does food stimulate? The parasympathetic nervous system, to then transition you into sleep and then repeat. Day, night, day, night, day, night. Microdosing TRT is the most effective way of achieving stable male androgen levels and again, mimicking physiology to allow you to earn your reward. Fundamentally, that's what it's about. Boring? It's not boring, is it? But you must face adversity because of this necessary survival instinct that must be fulfilled. So, hardship, physical hardship, earn your reward. As you know, we're massive fans of ice baths, deliberate cold water therapy, sauna, exercise, mindfulness, because we are physical beings in a world of psychological stress. We must deal with that psychological stress, but through an understanding of physiology. Because at our core, physiology is how your body functions, and you do not want to dysregulate physiology. So microdosing TRT, mimicking physiology, is the most effective way of prescribing testosterone replacement therapy. Now, my protocol has always been 12.5 milligrams of TestSip daily, 100 IU of HCG daily, and more recently 5 milligrams of Tadalafil. Why Tadalafil? Well, there's lots of reasons. Have a look at the Tadalafil video. It's not just about that. It confers cardiovascular benefits, blood pressure, prostate health, and also it acts as a mild aromatase inhibitor. Now, I'm not going to lie. Like all of us, it's not all about the wins. Sometimes it's about the losses. And these losses tend to creep up on you insidiously. So yeah, my health has been compromised recently because of too much psychological stress. So what is it, doc? It's practice what you preach. So what's happened? Well, my levels are always pretty consistent. My total testosterone is around 35 and my free T is about 0.7 to 0.85. And that's where I subjectively feel best. And I don't get any negatives as a result of that level. My sleep is good when I have good sleep hygiene and I'm engaging in the positive behaviors that I know I need to. But again, I'm a human and I'm fallen and I'm trying to be better. So what's happened? Well, insidiously, I have gained a bit of weight. I'm a little bit of a chunky monkey. Not anymore, because I'm actually becoming more of a lean, mean fighting machine, but we'll get into that. So yeah, I've been overeating because I haven't been counting calories. And as you guys know from the previous video, I am now counting calories. I am being more diligent because you can't out-exercise a bad diet. So what happens when you overeat? Well, yeah, you become chunky. And what does that mean? Well, the aromatase enzyme is located in numerous tissues. Two of those tissues that you can directly impact a positive change to are what? Liver and fat. So if you pollute your liver with chemicals and you don't eat real food and you have an over propensity to eating carbohydrates for comfort, you're going to cause inflammation in the liver and you're going to be chunky. And that is going to create excess estradiol. So yeah, disappointingly, over the last few months, I've been on an aromatase inhibitor, examestane, 1 milligram every other day. And now my levels are utterly spot on. And I feel utterly spot on. But it's not just about the levels. It's about making that concerted effort to be the best version of yourself. How good could you be? Well, I'm going to find out. I found out before, but I took my foot off the gas because I became complacent. And there's no room for complacency in this world. So yeah, disappointingly, I'm on an AI temporarily because I'm going to work to get back off of it because I didn't need it before. So I hopefully won't need it again in the future. But again, levels are carefully titrated according to response to get you where you need to be. And they're constantly under review to act in your best interest. But why am I taking a cancer drug? So if you have an ounce of intelligence, you'll realize that we don't take it because it's a cancer drug. We take it because of the mechanism of action. You take every drug as a result of the mechanism of action. If you were that worried, well, think about warfarin that's prescribed for cardiovascular patients. That's rat poison. Why are you taking rat poison? Because it's the mechanism of action. That's the reason why you take a medication. But testosterone, stipulate, MHCG, and Tadalafil. Gold standard, baby. And the aromatase inhibitor is a disappointingly temporary need. Now, it has more of a fixed dose response, so it must be under constant review. Whereas the testosterone HCG, it's fixed dose, but the effects are not going to cause any negatives, but they can sometimes alter your levels if your SHBG changes. And what do we talk about? We talk about the need for consistency and that sustainability, because day, night, day, night, day, night. Your body doesn't like change. You can train to become stronger, more resilient, and face that adversity that you need to face, becoming the best version of yourself. But going on these cutting cycles, bulking cycles, placing your body under that unnecessary stress, it doesn't like it, and that can negatively impact SHBG. Now, as you guys know, we love SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. It acts as a buffer. It's a good marker of insulin sensitivity. It's a good positive health marker. So we don't want low SHBG. But these low SHBG guys, they subjectively don't feel good because they don't have the buffer effect. So we need a buffer effect so that we don't have these highs and lows. And as you guys know, what are we trying to do? We're trying to achieve stability with a little peak in the morning with the daily dose of testosterone and HCG, thus mimicking physiology. But we don't want to feel too much because hormones impact neurotransmitters and that impacts how we feel. What are we? We're physical beings in a world of psychological stress. Concentrate on physiology to improve psychology. Allow your emotions to come in, come out. But if you concentrate on physiology, your emotions should be more positive. But ultimately, it's still down to you how you feel. So the choice is yours, whether you earn the reward or you slack. So again, we're all fallen individuals trying to be better. So yeah, I am trying to get off the AI by becoming the best version of myself, by doing all the right things. Reducing stress, that's your fault. Improving my sleep hygiene, having a healthy diet, and again, What am I doing? I'm intermittent fasting. I'm having 6 eggs at lunchtime, and I'm having vegetables and meat in the evening. Okay, so 16-8, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I was doing OMAD, but I struggled with OMAD because I was having too much, and I was thinking, oh, I need some carbohydrates. But actually, I don't need carbohydrates because, again, carbohydrates stress the liver, and ultimately, you only need carbohydrates around training to replenish the glycogen stores that you've diminished through heavy training. So I'm seeing the positive benefits, and I will get off the AI, but I don't have an adversity to take an AI, but I don't want to take an AI. So I'm going to do the best, but it's also under constant review to act in my best interest. Very simple. And that's the premise. You should normalize physiology to allow you to work to feel good. What is it about? Yeah, you guessed it. Earning your reward. Day in, day out, no days off.